Hey, what's up, everybody? So I am home, and I'm just laughing because it's wow to be home on a nice, beautiful day at an early time for everyone, so I can take a nap. Yes, I'm very busy, as we all see, but the way that I am able to maintain is by having that self care, having that downtime, taking naps. I highly recommend it, especially if you have things to do. And so my family will all be home like in about 2 hours. So this gives me 2 hours to have my me time. So I'm having my little Mike's hard black cherry lemonade. Watch out now. I'm not a big drinker whatsoever. And well, I like to be clear headed for one. And then for two, there's nothing wrong with unwinding. So I keep a couple things in the house. My husband hasn't touched these, so he clearly is not a fan. But I like them. A little fruity beverage is probably why he doesn't. But it's nice to relax, and to have my little studio space. Because I'm going to be whipping up some whipped shea butter with my lavender oil later on for my hair and my skin. That is, a good way to take care of yourself. Is to do it naturally and to do it yourself. So my daughters and I are going to be whipping up our whipped shea butter. It's going to be fun. And then I'm going to be buying some more oil so that way throughout the weeks we can start making candles, making soaps, the whole nine. Not only is it fun, but I want them to have their own business, And if nothing else, it's good to know how to do things yourself. I'm going to be having a little bit more free time this summer. So I want to learn more about canning and how to properly can it. Because I already do a lot of freezing ahead meals. So fortunately for like literally the next few weeks, I don't have to cook anything. Maybe make a few fresh baked goods here and there, but fresh fruit and vegetables. But for the most part, I got so many meals stocked in that freezer, and that's how I like to do it. Because you never know what can happen. And, you're tired. Now that the sun is out, it's 80 degrees outside, more time to relax and to chill. I do miss being in California because if I wasn't at the beach, I'd be at the pool. So, DC, a lot of condo buildings don't always have pools or rooftop pools. Some do, the newer ones, but yeah, it's different. Like living in a gated community in California is completely different than living in a gated community on the East Coast, for sure. So there's still the plan of relocating for my family. And now that I started this new job, California has been kind of pushed to the back burner a little bit. Not the end of the world, but I really want to go home. I love the East Coast. Don't get me wrong, this is my second home, but this is my second home. So I'm always going to be a California man. That will never change. Happy. Loves the sunshine. Loves nature. Loves to be active. Oh, yeah. And very laid back and chill. It feels so good to just have peace and quiet, time to myself, to reflect, to think about. I actually started getting back in my studies. I have not had a lot of time to focus on that with training for my new position. And also have not had the time that I wanted to with going to the gym because I am now commuting, which not really enjoying, I'll be honest with you. That's part of the reason why I specifically, was looking for a position where I wouldn't have to commute. So it happened that this one requires that. So the sacrifices sometimes one must make. I know that the position that I'm in now, I won't be in very long, whether it's with this company or another one. And that is part of the goal. So hopefully if things go well, I may relocate closer to my work site. We will see. But I do know that I am ready for a change. A little bit quieter environment. See, I mean, living in the city, it has its advantages. I can walk everywhere. That's why I like a lot of people in New York. Don't have a car, don't drive. But you also pay a premium for a lot of things, particularly goods and services. So, I don't know if I'm ready to be a little country girl, little country woman. But I kind of like the quietness, like going to places that are a little further out, a little bit more peace of mind, because now even the suburbs have begun to kind of lose its appeal of being exclusive, or suburban, simply because people get pushed out of the city. Where do you think they go? To the suburbs. And suburbs cost a lot, so you figure you want to get away from a lot of the drama and chaos of the city, so you move to the suburbs and it follows you there, so it doesn't have that suburban, feel anymore, which is totally cool. So now I can focus back on doing my cyber security studies, and I'm super excited about that, because I plan for that to be my next career. I plan to be able to go back to working from home for a company a bit more. I mean, right now I just do a lot of projects for companies. They pay well. And it's, easy because I fit it around my schedule. It's just very busy. I like what I do in terms of working in restaurants, working in management, and I intend to move up in that endeavor as well. But I'm just thinking, for the long haul, is this something that I want to do for a long time? No, it's not. I give myself 5, maybe 10 years before I'd be like, if I even last that long, simply because it is my passion, and I always wanted to have my own restaurant. But I know that having those type of goals requires having access to capital, having money saved up, operating costs, things of this nature. It is very expensive and risky running businesses, which is why I'm looking at different franchise opportunities and studying the relationship between the corporate offices, the operators, because it's very important. And I've seen where I've worked for corporations and I've worked for franchise, and sometimes the franchise operators do not uphold the standards of the corporation, and sometimes the corporation are too rigid and like they're just nickel and diming the operators. I had watched a video, in fact, about McDonald's and how they're actually more so like Starbucks into the well, maybe not Starbucks, but McDonald's definitely into the real estate business more than people realize. Like, oh, there's a video, is Starbucks a coffee shop or is it a bank? You should look it up. And looking at, like, for example, Subway and McDonald's, how when there are changes made, they have to comply. And if they don't comply with these things, such as remodels, let me see if I can pull up the video, they will get penalized. And of course, the company will come in and say, oh yeah, well, we'll help subsidize some of the costs and stuff like that. And then if you have to get your supplies, and things only from the operator. Like, say you had a coffee shop and you run out of cups. You might be in an agreement to where you can't just go to Costco like most business owners, especially small business owners, would do and just replenish until your stock comes in. You would have to only use their branded, information and stuff. And then a lot of times there is a disconnect between what corporate wants and what the operators can actually deliver and what makes sense, what is feasible. There's nothing worse than if a corporate office decides to cut a menu item that's a popular offering at your location or in your particular market. A lot of times I feel that there is a disconnect between when decisions are made, looking at the impact of the operators. And that's why I encourage people that if you work for a company and they have stock, buy some stock in that company. You have voting rights, which I have to get to very soon because there are a lot of annual meetings coming up for the different stocks that I own. And that's why I'm always researching the CEOs and the owners and the funders and looking at their investors, looking at everything. A company is not what they say they are. I'm not investing in you. And you're not, as a shareholder, this means I am also a stakeholder. I don't care if you own 0.01% of that stock. You own a fractional share or a whole share, you are a stockholder. You have a seat at the table. And this is another way you can affect change. So let's say I used to work at Starbucks, right? And their CEO's not doing a good job, Well, they actually have a new CEO. And I don't like where the company is going. I don't like the projections, the marketing. There's a number of things that you look at. And I want you out of there. And I could be an employee. But I have voting rights. And if I know how to campaign against you and get all the other people that have voting rights to vote you out of office, we can make it happen. And that is why I tell employees, buy stock. Pull your resources together. Unions are one way, lawyers are another, but there's also the financial aspects to how you can turn a company around, force them to change their ways. There are some companies I wish I had enough money to completely buy them out because I would revamp them and make them profitable, make them improve their customer service, their sales, the way they treat their employees, and to focus on not just looking at the bottom line, but the big picture. So, go to YouTube. Part of my strategy over the next few years is to build up my family's net worth in terms of the different assets and the different companies and the different industries that we are invested in. And me and my husband, had a lot of conversations about, opening our own restaurant. Is it something that we want to I guess I should explain that my husband is a wonderful chef. This is a wonderful man, period. But he cooks. And I'm here for it. Oh, I cook too. We used to have cook-offs. That's probably one of the ways why we bond so much. We have a lot in common. He's also an artist, a musician, to be exact. And that's another way that we bond. So back to having a restaurant, looking at, do we want to start from scratch and have our own concept and our own thing? Do we want to buy in to an emerging brand? Do we want to become a franchise owner with a well-established, brand? So there's a lot to consider. Let's see. I'm putting in McDonald's operators treated bad. And then you have to make sure that, like Starbucks, you don't do oversaturation of the market, opening way too many locations within a small geographical area. Oh, here we go. Why you will go broke owning a McDonald's franchise. The infographic show.
Order carry out online or
Oh,
phone and get any
wait, here's another one.
$7.99
McDonald's abusive operators.
For an alternative. But there's a good reason why McDonald's wants to know your resources before you start. They want to make sure you can afford the down payment. And that's where your first big choice comes in. Do you want to build a new McDonald's from scratch? This will take more resources, including retrofitting an existing building with all the usual McDonald's treats and tricks you love, and the costs will vary. Turning a former Burger King into a McDonald's will take less resources than turning a bank or a shoe store into a fast food restaurant.
Yeah. So you guys can look up the videos yourself. The infographic show, Logically Answered. Those are two different, not platforms, but content creators that are speaking about this. And so, having worked for so many companies is why I'm able to run my own companies so well, because I utilize their experience in the training, the experiences, whether they were good or bad. And that helps me make decisions, because one of the hardest things in business is making sure that you're making the right decision for anything. Hiring someone, firing someone, establishing a new location, opening a new relationship with a vendor, the whole nine. And so, knowing that at the end of the day, I want to invest in real estate, physical real estate. So, that's why I do have investments like Berkshire Hathaway. But I'm going to look at a few more, actually investing in the property management companies. Look at who owns the building, what is the name of their holdings, invest in them too. There are different ways to go about investing in something. Real estate is very, very expensive, as we know. And I also invest in financial companies like JP Morgan, Chase, Citibank, Capital One, American Express. Not just with stocks, there's mutual funds, there's options, there's commodities, there's annuities, there's cryptocurrency, there are money market accounts, retirement accounts. You have a number of vehicles that you can use. And of course, crowdfunding. That's why I've been learning a lot about crowdfunding. One of the hardest things is that if you have a company and somebody wants to come in and invest in your company, like look at a TV show like Shark Tank, right? You have to give up something, whether it's control, stock options, creative, control. You're giving up something for that funding. And as an artist, I don't want to give up anything I don't have to give up in order to make my projects be successful. Collaborating with others, networking goes a mile. Oh, God. Just so much that we have to deal with in life, and why we have to spend time being creative about how we live our life if we want to live a better quality of life. And I'm all about holistic living, being natural, being organic, being your natural and organic self. So what are different ways that you can come up with to pay yourself and to pay it forward? Having those family vacations, having your me time, Having dreams and ideas outside of the workplace is very important. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket, as they always say. And I'm the kind of person, I never count on anything or anyone besides four individuals: the Lord, my husband, my daughters. Everyone else, well, you just can't be trusted sometimes. Some of you, not all of you, some of you. And so, knowing that what I want to leave for my children and then my children's children is not just generational wealth, because that doesn't always work out, where people have been given everything and every opportunity and they still squander it and waste it. So money doesn't equate happiness in that regard. Knowledge transcends, and knowledge lasts and can be passed on. It can be adjusted, utilized, and that is what I want to make sure that I have for my family from generation to generation. Knowledge and power, because there's power that's assumed, there's power that's expressed, and there's power that is implied. So obviously, assuming power just means somebody steps up, which is what I do a lot of the time, and takes ownership of a situation and control in the sense of making things better, making things work right. There's power that's expressed, and I do this by being a very confident woman, confident person, a happy individual, and goes well to demonstrate that I have the capabilities to tell you what you need to do. Power that's implied. Before I became a manager, I would always have people come up to me and say, "Are you the manager?" In so many different industries that I worked, So that's why I made that video about dressing the part, looking the part that you want as your next level, not even at the level that you're at now, because you want to stand out. You don't want to be overboard and, make it uncomfortable. Don't come to work, in attire that's just not appropriate for the workplace to stand out. No. Or wear day glow, colors, neon colors. I mean, just go look like you're going to the club with a Band-Aid across your chest and a Band-Aid across your ass. Like, I have seen it all. And so that told me then and there that when people think that you're in a position, it's because of how you carry yourself, your demeanor, your appearance. So, yeah, implied. Those are the 3 ways that you can express your power. Notice that none of these ways did I include abusing anyone, disrespecting anyone, harassing them, stalking them, threatening them, controlling them, belittling them. Because that's not power. That's abuse of power. And that is where people get twisted with what they seem to think they can do to others and get away with it. Absolutely not. So knowing these things makes me a very powerful woman because of knowledge. And that is the best way, in my opinion, to be powerful, is to be knowledgeable. Knowledgeable about the situation at hand, knowledgeable about your enemies, knowledgeable about the facts. There are going to be people, demons really, in this environment that we call Earth, that will not like you, that will do things to you that are uncalled for, to sabotage you, to do a variety of things. At the end of the day, You have the power to overcome them in a mighty way. Life is complex, right? But it doesn't have to be complicated. There's a difference between something that is complex and something that is complicated. And when people become complicated, you have a decision to make. Are you going to cede any ground to them? Are you just going to simply walk away? Which is another way of not ceding any ground to them, not paying them any mind, not giving in to their demands, their delusions, or even their attempts to provoke you. Are you going to go toe to toe? Because there are times where you will have to do this. Every situation is different. And when I mean go toe to toe, I don't mean just square up with your fist. Although you should know how to do that as well. Yeah, real talk. Because I do. And the reason why I do is not just because of the military and my former law enforcement, but as a personal safety precaution. Absolutely. Everyone should know how to defend themselves, and how to remain calm in a threatening or chaotic situation. Absolutely. Those are also two advantages I have and why I'm very powerful. And I like that. I promote positive power, positive energy, positive magic. See, the demons will have everyone think that their magic is causing curses and things going wrong in their life. It's not true. They don't know magic whatsoever. They're fucking lying to you. They're just spirits. And that is how they do their magic. And because they are so negative and have those low vibrations, this is why they can never get beyond a certain level in life, period. And when they see somebody operating, such as myself, at a higher frequency, at, radiating beauty and love and happiness and joy and peace, they can't handle it. It's too much for them. It's like too much sunshine, burn you alive. And that's the thing. You have to know what your strengths are. And there's nothing wrong with self-improvement. I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. I don't need to know everything. Nobody's going to ever know everything. However, you can learn a lot about a lot of different things. In terms of, are you going to be a generalist and have general knowledge in a particular area? Or do you want to specialize in something? Just like with cybersecurity. I don't want to be just a cybersecurity analyst. They have different teams, the red team and the blue team. I definitely want to be able to do detection, prevention, against internal threats, external threats, data breaches, the whole nine. Really love that part. So that is what I'm going to specialize in. The other areas of cybersecurity, I don't have to specialize in them, but to have the general knowledge is worthwhile. So you want to focus your time. You want to focus your energy so that way your goals are aligned with what is realistically possible for your life, taking into consideration the time that it's going to take to pursue your goals, the researching that you're going to have to do. A variety of factors. Don't let it tear you. You break it down and you take it step by step. And what you will see is that at every step, every level that you progress in getting closer to your goals, having a better relationship with the Lord, being in attune with the universe and nature, these demons will come out of the woodworks like dirty little roaches for you and your aspirations and your dreams because they've blocked their own blessings. You should not feed into their delusional bullshit, their immaturity, their lack of understanding. Because they had it all, squandered it all, they wasted it all, they lost it all, and that is all their fault. Miserable people, to me, should not fucking exist. Nor should they have the ability to make other people feel as if they shouldn't exist. You know, there are effects of bullying and stalking and intimidation and all kind of stuff that it has on people. Even to witness it is uncomfortable, you know. So even if something's not happening to you, it still impacts me. I still feel a certain way when I see something being done to anyone that should not be. Because of all the things that I mentioned. Having a relationship with the Lord, being a positive person, operating on a higher frequency, living a holistic life, and using my gifts of discernment. So if you notice, there isn't a whole lot of talk about how to defeat demons. One, they don't want you to know. And two, is that some people just refuse to believe that this happens to people, that it occurs. I see it all the time. I literally will see when the spirit jumps into another body, because the whole person's attitude and aura will change. And the demons always love to refer back to stuff, their beef. Why they have beef with me. And I'm just like, why can't they just go take it to the Lord? I don't want to hear about it. I don't give a fuck about it. And this is why they're angry. Well, they can stay angry because I am not giving them any of my power, any of my time, any of my energy. These are the magical moments in your life, your best moments, and when you know where to give your time, your energy to. Pick and choose who you spend time with. Do not spend time with negative people who want to bring you down, who do not want to contribute. And it does not have to be financial contribution to your goals. It could be good advice. It could be a networking opportunity, a mentoring opportunity, a variety of factors. That is the name of the game. So, my video is getting ready to end in about a minute. I need a nap any fucking way. But that is my video on about power and how to be powerful. And so I'll just finish it out about the whole thing about intimidation. I'm not easily intimidated. I've learned how to remain calm in a storm. And to not let things distract me. To not let things throw me off of what I need to say and what I need to do to accomplish my end goal. And being a nice person goes a mighty long way. Makes people want to work harder for you. You know, I recently had an attorney did a great job. And the attorney that I had before and another man did an excellent job. And I had to tell them how much I appreciated them, because especially with dealing with litigation, it has long-lasting impacts on your life. And some things can actually change your life in a criminal matter and in a civil matter, for sure. So to realize my goal of soon going to law school, and I'll be able to help people based on the experiences that I've had. Which is one way that I hold demons accountable for their shit. Just get to the root of the situation to find out who's who. Because with all these characters and clones, that's how they try to hide their hands. Can't fool me. Can't fool nobody. Damn sure can't fool the Lord. Wish they would just go.